Hello there, Ray here, and we are on ProtoTech, and we have something pretty cool to show you guys, and that is we went ahead and we have placed in every single statistic in the game over as a scoreboard. So when you go into like your escape your menu here and you click on statistics, you got your statistics right here. All this information, all these statistics, general as well as blocks, items, and even mobs, all this is kept over on the side scoreboard so that we can see how we compare with other players on the server. We've also updated these stats so that they are up to date. This was a pretty big undertaking to do this, and it took us quite a while to figure this all out, but I gotta thank Gerry from commandblock Reddit, who helped us acquire all the statistics on the game and place them into Google Documents. On 10.11, he went ahead and he compressed down the words of those statistics so that they would be able to fit in a command as a scoreboard. And then Smokey figured out that we could display these scoreboards on the side while not needing any command blocks. So we could do this in our survival world. And we can even, Smokey even figured out how we can actually switch between our scoreboards on the side, which I'll show a little bit later, without using any commands as well. This is all done in vanilla with the server. The server's figuring all this stuff out. Also, big thanks to Nessie, who figured out how to get all these different scoreboards off of the Google Documents and place them onto the server. And he also updated everybody's statistics and added them to the scoreboard as well. So big thanks to those guys, which made it really possible. Now, there is some 2,000 scoreboards being kept track, so yeah, this isn't something you would want to do by hand, and that's why these guys made programs to help us put this all into the side. So like I said about these scoreboards on the side, we can switch them just by putting some commands into the server or putting it into our chat. So if I just put out this command here, which is a dash, the M stands for mine and it's dot, and this is the name of the item that we want to look up, and I just hit enter. The server will see that word and it'll be able to switch the scoreboard to that type of scoreboard. So now we switch over to water lilies that have been mined. It's kind of interesting. Dr. Sploosh has more than me. I have quite a few from mining out all the lily pads around the Quad Witch perimeter. Now that I think of it, Dr. Sploosh was the main person that moved most of the Quad Witch perimeter top layer of water. But he has quite a few lily pads. So the M in front of it stands for mined, and then we do like U, that stands for used. So this is used Ender Eyes. Then we can switch to that. And that will show us all the people that have used Ender Eyes, which is kind of interesting. If you think about it, you don't really use too many Ender Eyes other than trying to find the strongholds. Of course, these people used them most likely without the intent to find the strongholds, since we would probably already know where the strongholds are since we know the seed of this. That's kind of interesting. You can kind of look up different materials and stuff that people use that aren't necessarily used in day-to-day Minecraft gameplay. So the game also keeps track of items that you craft, so we can look up people that craft clay, so they just turn clay balls into clay blocks. And yeah, you can see that's kind of a strange one to do as well, unless you are converting those blocks into something else. But BBs has the most in that category. You see there's quite a few people on the list that are no longer active on the server, and but their stats are still kept on the server, so those people, all their statistics are still kept by the server, so we still can see their statistics. And this is like the overall history of ProtoTech server, so even members that are inactive and don't even play Minecraft nowadays are still on the scoreboard, and you can still try to beat their scoreboard or their scores on the scoreboard. So C was for crafted, and then P is for picked up. So we got picked up carrot on a stick, and you can see not too many people have done that. Lynn did that, as well as my alt account. And then we also have dropped items to go with picked up. So let me find an item that we can look up that's dropped. Let's look up bowls. So dropped items are a prefix of Q, probably because the other ones are used up. So if I just remove this, the Q.bowl. Wow, not very many people have dropped bowls. I guess I dropped a bowl, and Glazed Terracotta has also dropped a couple bowls for some reason. So it also keeps track of items that are broken, and they start with the abbreviation B. B.Iron Shovels, as you can see over on the right. I have apparently depleted 126 iron shovels, and I think this was when I was doing AFKing at this snow farm at the Quad Witch perimeter, most likely. But yeah, there's quite a few areas that are not, nobody has ever acquired any scores in it. If I do like broken shields, you can see that nobody has ever broken their shields. So there's quite a few potential places where if you wanted to be on the scoreboards, you could easily get onto the high scores just by doing something that no one else has done.
Right now, farming them only makes sense if you want a bad switch.
So over on the right hand side now, I switched it over to bats killed, and you can see that Akron, which is in-game name is Desert Rose, has killed a large amount of bats, almost 250 bats. I think that's from he was working on his base. He's filling in caves, and as he filled in the cave, he would have bats in the way and he'd kill them. Of course, he doesn't really like bats, and he would probably go his way to kill bats as well. And I killed quite a few bats, but I'm nowhere near the top of the leaderboard. We also look up people that killed ocelots or cats. And yeah, Kika, who's supposed to be such a nice person, looks like he killed a cat. He's the only person that ever killed a cat or ocelot. So the scoreboard also keeps track of like mobs that you died from. And right now we switched it over to people that died from polar bears. And when 1011 was moving that polar bear over to our Christmas tree, he actually was killed by the polar bear. So it actually shows up on the statistics. And we can also do people that died by villagers. And yeah, you can see that I died from a villager twice. And I actually did that in a video. It's kind of funny. I did that by giving the villagers thorns armor, and then I punched the villager and he killed me, which is pretty cool. So now I switched over to the general ones, and the general scoreboards are the most interesting. They have like all the really unique stuff, like I think like chest open and other stuff like that, like how far you walked and how much time you quit the game. But right now I switched it over to play time in minutes, so you can see how much time I've been playing on the server. And yeah, my alt account is at the top, and I'm second, and all my other alts are also on that scoreboard. I AFK quite a bit with my alternate accounts, but yeah, you can see it's pretty crazy how much minutes I have compared to other people. And that's in game ticks, I believe. Do you guys remember if that's game ticks?
It is.
Yeah, I think it's game. That would make sense. It's moving by really fast. It's also another easy way to kind of see if the server is lagging, if it kind of jitters, or like during an autosave, I think also jitters and will slow down for a split moment. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things in the general section, which I won't all go over, but I think that is a pretty cool one. Time played. So the last category that we have the game keeping track of is other, and there is no prefix for this one. We just type in the exact words. So right now we're keeping track of help, and I'm at the very bottom of the scoreboard, but go ahead and hit me, Doge. Oh! Ooh, that hurted. And now I'm just getting regeneration. Oh, yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, I got knocked off the scoreboard. Someone else took my spot. But yeah, it does work. There's like only 16 slots, so you have to be at the top 16 or else it doesn't show. Anybody who is lower than the top 16 just doesn't show up. So another interesting one to look at is the XP ones. We just type in XP. And whoo, look who's at the top of that scoreboard. Yeah, that's my alt account, which I have reached the maximum XP possible in Minecraft. So yeah, there's no way to get higher than that score that's currently on the scoreboard. But you can see everyone else's scoreboard. This is the one scoreboard on the side with the other scoreboard. It only shows up-to-date statistics. Like the other one showed overall statistics. This just shows up-to-date ones. So this don't show all the XP for your entire lifetime on the server. It just shows your current XP in your bar. And my bar is currently 0, so I'm competing with Frog Think, which is Nessie's other account, for that slot. But if there's multiple people for a slot, then it goes in alphabetical order, and since F goes before R, and that's why Frog shows up, and I'm kicked off the list. So I'm here with Doge, and we are just showing off how you can get some of these statistics. And this one we're working at right now is Dragon Eggs Mined. And you typically can't mine a dragon egg because it tries to teleport to an air block, but if you go underneath the ocean or any spot where there's no valid location for the dragon egg to teleport to, then you can mine it. Oh, but that time the dragon egg did find a location. Did you see that?
I think it teleported to the air block left by mine when you mined yours.
Ah, okay. So I just mined that dragon egg, and now I got a scoreboard on the uh, over on the side. And then you said there's no tool for the dragon egg? Yeah,
Not
it
that I
seems pretty
found.
slow. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's actually 2 more categories that are being kept track by our scoreboards, but they're not accessible on the server. So we got team kills as well as killed by team. And of course you can use this in like a mini game, but they don't really apply to your server because we don't have anybody in different teams or anything like that. But this would be the score, but obviously there's nothing over on the side, so it can't show up. Now there is quite a few other scoreboards that are just inaccessible to the like typical survival worlds. So I think, what is it? There's one where you die from a zombie horse. Yeah, that is one. If I just use that one, it clears it because it tries switches over to scoreboard showing zombie horses, but there's nothing currently on there. And there's some other strange ones like command blocks and like other stuff. There's 2 ones that kind of keep track of the player being in the air. So we got aviation 1 centimeter, which I just put up, and this shows you when you're flying with your elytras. So you can see we're increasing the score. Now there's also another one called it's called fly 1 centimeter, and this is kind of a strange one. I think it's, what is it, when you just jump? Is it just when you're jumping or something?
It's not counting while I'm in the air in Elytra.
Oh, it looks like when if you're sprint jumping, kind of, it counts.
You can see Game Mode 3 has quite a bit because that's a spectator account.
Game mode 3. Well, Smokey has quite a bit too. I think because he just sprint jumps quite a bit. If I even take off my elytras and do it. Yeah. If you're just sprint jumping, it keeps track of this. And they call it fly. Apparently it's similar to like the player being in creative mode. So it seems quite different to me. So I looked up some scoreboards that didn't have any scores in them. And Haybale's Mind was one of them. But it looked like Craft started trying to get on the scoreboards as it is. But yeah, it doesn't take very long for you to get to some of these scoreboards. Like that, I beat him in that scoreboard. There's like around 2,000 scoreboards, so quite a bit of different things are on the scoreboard, but are never really used in normal survival play, like I said. And quite a few of these are actually like leather armor pieces being broken, or like wooden tools and stuff being broken, like stuff you would never really do in a technical server, but they're all being kept tracked on the server. So I actually found one that doesn't have anything in the scoreboard, so I could demonstrate. So if I just switch over to armor clean, it will clear the scoreboard. And let's go ahead and try to be the first person to acquire a statistic in this. I got a cauldron. Now I need to grab a button, or bucket, not button, bucket. Let's grab some buckets, and then I'll just put some water in it. Then I'll need to grab some leather. I believe that's the only armor that you can dye. Then to clean it, we'll use the armor onto this cauldron. So I think the leather is down this aisle here somewhere. There it is. Let's just make some boots. Shouldn't be too hard. And here's some bone meal. Or get some bones. I can switch over to bone meal. Pretty easy. And let's make ourselves some leather boots. And let's dye those leather boots. So, if we use this on the cauldron, we should be the first one on the scoreboard. Yay! Armor cleaned. 1 by me. I know it's going to make some people really jealous that I'm number 1. So I found another interesting one, which is fish caught. Now, you may be wondering, how in the world am I not on the scoreboard? Because I AFK'd an entire month in this AFK fish farm here on 2 to 3 accounts for every day for a whole month. And the thing is, when you use AFK fish farm, it normally doesn't count as fish caught. because the fish is not picked up by the player. It goes into the water stream. But Wyvert, he had his AFK fish farm at the Quad Witch perimeter here, but he had it like over there, I think, somewhere. And he was actually picking up the fish apparently because he has a very large score compared to everybody else. And most time you see the score, it's people that have fish manually by hand. So that's kind of an interesting one that you have to actually pick up the fish for it to be counted as fish caught. Cake. Yummy. So here's also another interesting one that we got on the scoreboard right now. So this is time since death. And as you can see, my alternate count is at the very top, which kind of makes sense because he AFK'd at the Drug XP farm for 20 days straight in real life. And he hasn't died since, after acquiring all those levels. So he is permanently at the top until someone else plays longer without dying, which is possible, but the second place person is an alternate account, so it might be kind of hard to beat. And it's worth mentioning that with this scoreboard, it's one of the few scoreboards that actually players can actually be at the top and end up back at the bottom again, because if they die, they'll lose all their time that they have on the side. Other than the scoreboards that are in the other category, which are the ones that like keep track of your health, your XPs, and like your air, your breathing, and stuff like that. Oh wow! On the scoreboard, you can see that Al Rich, when he was mining all the snow layers, shows up on the side now. Must mine quite a few snow layers to make it on the list. And of course, I'm number one because I was AFK at Snow Farm. And 0x, yeah, he made like a million capacity snowball place. And you can also keep track of every time you sleep in a bed. Currently, yeah, I can sleep in this bed here. I got my dog. This is my 1.8 dog here. And you know it's 1.8 dog because he has a orange collar instead of a red collar. And this is Kika's parrot. He's making the high-pitched dog sound. And Doge went ahead and he put in this observer which detects when the player is sleeping in the bed and activates this piston over here. That's because you want to jump in the bed, and I'll look at it F3. So if you look at the bed, let me remove the scoreboard. Okay, I removed the scoreboard. Now it says occupied false. Now hop in the bed if you can. Now it says what? Oh, it still says occupied false.
You're looking at the head end?
Just wait.
There might be too many hitboxes in the way with the dog and the parrot.
Well, no, I can still see it. It's not updated for some reason. Huh. Strange.
Still triggering the piston though.
Yeah, it is. Okay, now I can see it. When I'm inside the bed myself, it says occupied true. Yeah, because it changes its value there, it changes its block state, then it's be able to be detected by the observer, activates this here, which is kind of cool. Like one way to see if somebody's in bed or not. One thing that we just noticed is that the cake block is not in the mine category, so if you mine a cake block, there's no statistic in the game that keeps track of that. It might be a bug, not quite sure, but that is quite strange because typically every block keeps track of if you can mine or not, or if you have mined or not. But it might have to do with like cake being in the category of food, not really in a category of blocks. So maybe it was overlooked or something. So I switched the scoreboard over to used rabbit, and that kind of sounds strange that you would use a rabbit. But what that is keeping track of is raw rabbit that's actually being used, and in this context, it's being eaten. So here I got raw rabbit. If I eat it, yay! I made it onto the list of people who used a rabbit. Right now, Nessie has placed down a note block, and you can see how it's not too hard to get to the top of some of the scoreboards just by doing certain things. Which does open up the door that mean we could actually build farms to try to get to the high score of some of these statistics, which is be kind of fun. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to get the statistics up on the server, to try to make a bit of competition to get to the top, either by legitimate means or by like people making farms and trying to get to the top. Yeah, I think I'd definitely be trying to make a couple of different types of farms to abuse the system and try to get to the top of the scoreboard. So if you'd like to see all the different statistics that are being kept track of on our server, we do have a Google document which just has all the scoreboards on there, and this will allow you to be able to paste these same scoreboards into your own server, and then they can be kept track over on the side as well. Now the Google document is set to read only, so you will have to make a copy of it. And once you get those, then you have to put them into your server. The way Nessie did it was kind of a roundabout way, and he said he probably won't make a detailed explanation about how he did that. But if there is interest among the community about how we did this, then I'll probably try to make a short video explaining the different steps on how to get this to work. But yeah, once you get scoreboards into your server, then you want to update them using the player statistics, and that's what we have done on our server. So that's why we have all the statistics since the very beginning of the server. Now, some statistics were never kept track of until like 1.9. 1.9, they introduced quite a few new statistics, and so a lot of the statistics before that in some categories were never kept track of. Also, in 1.11, they introduced like zombie villager as their own mob, so now they have their own scoreboard separate from zombies. So even if you're killed by a zombie villager early on, it won't show up. I'm really excited to have these scoreboards in here, and I'm really looking forward to making machines and stuff to try to get to the top of some of these scoreboards and kind of pay attention how other people are doing on the top of certain scoreboards. But if you think that this is something cool and other servers might find this interesting, share this with other servers, and I think it's kind of a cool way to get members excited about doing certain things. But yeah, I'm really excited about the scoreboards, and it was a long time in the making to try to get this work. But I think that's going to be it for today. So thanks for joining me as I have fun in survival. Bye-bye!